Hello, this is Gerald Theo van Was. I already promised that I will not make extra new videos about sounds, about sound combinations, about how letters form words and how you can recognize them. No, enough of that. As long as there's not enough interest, I will have some other topics that might be interesting for you for as a preparation also for to understand the same kind of things. If they are not interesting enough, it means that the preparations are not good. So here is a training program for recognizing what I will say, recognizing higher dimensions that you normally should not or cannot see immediately, but you can learn to see them. They're not actually that difficult, but you need some preparation. So these videos are general test, general, playful thing to get into that idea. My point is to understand also the reflection, how we attach our mind to concepts that are bigger than what we see immediately. We need to understand the concept of dimensions well, and how something can be hidden behind a point, or can be something more behind a point than what you see. We pinpoint points in time as steady points. We see them as if everything that we see, we want to reflect them as a one point, a steady point in space, a one-dimensional point, as a matter of speaking. But there's a lot of activity going on, or relationships going on behind these points. And that's the basic rule for dimensions. You know it, of course, if you see, for instance, a circle from the side, it's just a line. It is nothing more than a line. And also a point can be an access point to another form, a form on which there is, for instance, a movement. There is a movement behind it, and so that the structure of this circle can be used for a movement. So just imagine that we see all these points, but there's activity behind it. We don't see it, we see only the one-dimensional points. Here are 4 examples of forms that are behind it. These forms on its own will only be accessed as a point. So we don't know there's a circle behind it or a triangle. That's all we have. So the 3 first examples are such an example. We don't know what's behind it and so on. But these will be access points to movement. And I will do some tests to see how well you understand this concept. So this the movement will be performed on these circles or triangles. So for our point of view, it's just points, access points, and behind it there are forms. So what we will do now, this is the test, and I will question you, see if you understand it. Just check if you understand that kind of concept. When we see something, how will it look like then from our point, and when we can only see one-dimensional plane, the horizontal plane, how will it look when we see this running circle, running triangle? How will it look from our point of view? And it is so what will we see from at that point? If we can keep on seeing that point as a reflection on our horizontal plane, how will it look like? As a reflection on that horizontal plane, how will that look like? Very easy. So behind that point there will be this circling around. So before I will give you the answer, I will tease you a little bit. What will you actually see then as a reflection on that horizontal plane? You will see It moves to the left, then to the right, further to the right, and back. So basically, the whole foundation of what is behind it will be seen as this arrow which goes from left to right. That was my first example. That's how we see what is behind something when we can only see one dimension. There is this, and there is a movement behind it. That's the thing we see. But in a way, if we understand that from that lower dimension, from this horizontal plane alone, without seeing the plane, we can still predict it. We can still predict what's going on, because if we think about it, there's a point, there's a form attached to this point. What kind of form can be a movement, a constant movement? When we see it going from left to right, what's the most logical thing that can be behind it? It's that circle, because you go with that circle, and if you follow it just on the horizontal plane, you will see that my finger will only move from left to right. Now I'll do the test with the second one. If you have this triangle, how will that look like? Think about it for a while. Think about it a couple of minutes before you continue. How will that look like? One movement, second movement, third movement. The most easy thing will be, of course, to time it. Let's assume that we have a regular timing with no stops, that it goes continuously 1 second to that first point, behind that 1 second to the next corner, and another second to that next corner. How will that form look like from that horizontal point of view? That's the first second, second second, and the third second. That's how it will look like. So it will stop for a second, go left to right, stop, left, right, stop, left, right. So in these 3 seconds, you will have 3 different movements. So if you see these 3 different movements, you can predict what's behind it. It's that kind of form. Now I'll make a question about these ones. What will happen then? Will there be a difference in what I see from that point of view when I have an access point and see this triangle and the movement behind it, and I can follow the movement? What will I see? And will it be different from the other angle where I immediately see the whole plane as well? But what kind of movement do I see? Do they look the same, or will they look different? Most easy thing again will be just have 1 second for each side. Basically, it will be the same pattern, but there will be a difference. Just have a look very closely, think about it again. If we move from left to right, what will be different? There will be a left movement and a right movement for both things, for both views. But the first one will be 1 second for going from the left to the right, because it can move immediately to the left or right. To go back to the left, it turns to 2 positions. So it takes also 2 times as long, so it takes 2 seconds. The other way around is when it moves back, and the back movement is from left to right. It will take 2 seconds. So no, it's not the same thing. It will move longer. The second one will move longer. So now the question is, this is the question of the intelligence to test you, this intelligence test. If I have this pattern and I have this movement that you can see from left to right, but to the left it will take 2 seconds and to the right it will take 1 second. What kind of form can lay behind? Think about it a while. Pause it a little bit if you like and think about it. What is the form that will be fitting to this pulse that you can see? The answer is it can still be both forms, but the way in which it turns should be different to have the same result, to have 2 seconds to the left and 1 second to the right. Just check that again and see and count it, and you will see that both forms can be used. This is a different approach of my videos. I will not explain anything about sounds anymore, but I will prepare you for different ways of thinking so that you can see certain things more quickly. That's all I will do, simply because I don't feel that the videos about the vowels and consonants are getting attention or getting curiosity or whatever, so I will try something else, and I hope this was enjoyable as a kind of test to see things slightly different, and I hope I can make a new tests very soon, that you get used to certain ideas, and these ideas will increase your visualization, and it will increase also the intelligent way to look at forms and geometry and so on. And I hope this was helpful. This was Gerald van Vaas. Thanks again for watching. Bye bye.